After the launch of the C3 and the E-C3, Citroen, in their second phase of the CQ program, have unveiled the C3 Aircross. Now, don't be fooled by that name. It's not just a variant of the C3. In fact, it's a much bigger car. Here are the key things you need to know about it. Now, first up, what you need to know is this car is 4.3 meters long, so it's bigger in size. And the USP of this car is going to be the fact that Citroen are giving you 5-seater or 7-seater options. So yes, for the first time in the mid-size SUV segment, you will have a 7-seater option. I will get in and tell you all about it later in this video, so do stay tuned. And when you're done watching, do remember to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. And of course, drop your comments on what you think about this car. What I think is that it's got good proportions, and on the front end, especially the nose, it's reminiscent of the C3. It's got the typical Citroen double-slat grille with the chevron logo in the middle and the signature Y-shaped lights that are similar to its sibling. But below that is where it's all changed. You get a massive air dam with a body-colored bar right across and a skid plate at the bottom with the fogs at either end of its edges. Around the side, the muscular wheel arches and cladding all add beef. The 17-inch wheels have a 4-leaf clover alloy pattern, and the A pillar is steeply raked, whilst the B and very wide C pillar are quite upright. The two-tone colouring and blackened pillars give the roof a floating look, and the roof rails add the SUV touch. The skinning is pretty clean, and all around the car there are gentle contours. The rear is clean too, and the rear tailgate glass area wraps around the side a little to form the rear quarter glass, with the corners being blackened out. And like its smaller sibling, this one also gets the C-shaped tail lights. Now, just to make sure that your car is unique for you, Citroen will be offering a lot of customization options and two-tone colouring as well. Now, what else you'll get is a lot of boot space. The 5-seater version has 444 litres, but what you see here is the 7-seater version. With all the seats up, there's barely any room for luggage, maybe just a couple of packets. But you can fold the seats down. Now you can see these seats folded down completely flat, and there is a large amount of boot space here. You can get 2 or 3 suitcases in very comfortably. But the unique thing is that these seats are completely removable too. So you can actually take them out and open up 511 litres of boot space. It does have the SUV stance with the high ground clearance, high bonnet line, and wide track. Now, Citroen are very serious about this being an SUV, not only in namesake but in its attributes too. They've done a lot of work on the approach angle, the departure angle, the ramp breakover, and you can see there's 200 millimeters of ground clearance. Also, to give it a lot of that attitude, you've got a lot of cladding around the tires, at the bottom, and skid plates as well. Now let's talk about that third row. The rear doors open up quite wide, and there is a one-touch tumble and fold seat on the passenger side to access the third row. Getting in is pretty easy, but it is tight on space. It's good enough for someone my height, but even then, it's a very knees-up position. Still, for a car of its size, it's quite commendable as to how much space this third row gets. Okay, now let's check out the middle row of seats. Now in the back seat, you can see there's a fair amount of space. I'm 5 foot 4 inches, and the front seat is pushed all the way back, and there still is a considerable amount of room, leg room for me. The floorboard is pretty flat, so third passenger will get in as well. Headroom is very good. You've got blowers at the back with manual controls over here, and pockets in the seat as well as door pockets too. So lots of practicality in this back seat. Now, this seat is fixed because this is the 3-row version. You do have recline, which is on a puller on the side. And these seats do tumble and fold as well to open up a whole lot of boot space at the back. You do get a USB charger at the back, and there is storage for a cup or a bottle, which can be shared between the front and middle row too. There's an AC blower on top, which is a little old school, and there's a large manual control knob in the middle. Now, let's go up front. And in typical Citroen style, you have that dashboard where the bar runs right across and the niche underneath it. It's got a nice textured finish. The plastics on top look a bit hard. You've got this large screen over here for the infotainment. The AC controls are manual. You have the USB port. You have a shelf here for your phone and lots of storage space in this central console, as well as over here you have armrests and you have digital dials in front as well. It's the quirky, funky styling we're used to seeing from Citroen now. You get one 12-volt and one USB port for charging up front. The wing mirrors are powered and there is a rear wiper. And I'm saying this because when the C3 was launched, they had a few key features missing. But this is a very competitive segment. And at the time of this walk around, I don't have the entire feature list, but it does look a bit sparse. I don't see ventilated seats. I don't see climate control. The AC control knobs are a little bit old school and there doesn't seem to be wireless charging on this version. Now Citroen are being very tight-lipped about the engine options. But what we do know is there isn't going to be any diesel option. At launch, you will get a 1.2-litre turbo petrol. And the good news is you will get it with a 6-speed ASIN automatic as well. That is expected. And of course, what we know is that later on you will get an electric variant of this car. Now, normally in electric cars, the problem is space and packaging. But what we do know is that Citroen have managed to smartly package the batteries to ensure you get a third row even in the electric version. And the last thing you need to know is that this will be on sale in the second half of 2023.